Hello and welcome. My name is Guy Fawkes and I'll be your instructor for the Play Piano by Ear Audio Super course. Now, when I receive emails from potential students, the most common question I get relates to the content of the course. And basically what they want to know is what will I learn and how long will it take? And they're fair questions. So what I'd like to do in this video is basically explain my process. What do I do when I sit down to learn a song by ear? What do I do first? What do I do second? What is my step-by-step process? And hopefully this will help you decide if this course is right for you. Okay, so taking a song like Yesterday by the Beatles, I don't start with an elaborate arrangement like the one I just played. I start with the basics. I start with a very simple melody. Okay. After I do that, the first thing I want to do is try to figure out the first chord. Now, the G, that's kind of where I hear the first chord, but the melody kind of lands on that F and stays there for a while. So I see that F. My first logical choice for a chord would be an F chord. Okay, that sounds good. So I'm going to assume for now I'm in the key of F. Okay, an F major scale. Now, the key of the song is just based on the scale. Now, I've been doing this for a while. I know that most songs are written in major keys. Okay, there's three major chords that occur naturally in every major key. Okay, in the key of F, just taking the first 5 notes out of the F major scale. If I were to build a chord off of that first scale tone, that would be our 1 chord, or the F major chord. If I were to build a chord off of the 4th note of the scale, that would be our B flat chord, and the 5th note in the scale would be our C major chord. Okay? And remember what I just said, these are just 3 major chords that occur naturally in the key of F major. Okay, so we have our F chord, our B flat chord, and our C chord, our 1 chord, 4, and 5 chord. Now, at this point, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. My course is not only ear training, but it covers quite a bit of musical theory, and it's always been my opinion that you could have a great ear, but if you don't understand how music works, that great ear is only going to take you so far. Every musician has strengths and weaknesses, so you need a good ear, but there's going to be some points where your ear may let you down, and to have musical knowledge to support that, you kind of have 2 things working for you. So, at this point, I have 3 major chords, F, B flat, and C. Okay? One of the musical principles that I will concentrate on a great deal throughout the course is what I call the 6-chord foundation. And what this is basically is that every major chord has a relative minor chord associated with it. And I'll cover this in great detail throughout the course. So we have 3 major chords so far. These are naturally occurring chords in the key of F major. F, B flat, and C. The 3 relative minor chords to those 3 are D minor, G minor, and A minor. So we have our F major chord. The relative minor is D minor. It's relative because it shares notes. It shares the F and the A. So an F chord is F-A-C, a D minor is D-F-A. Both of these notes are common to both chords. Now, the reason you have relative minor chords, so just taking a little passage from Yesterday. So I'm playing through that first part there. That sounds okay. I mean, these 2 notes, they're actually in the chord, but this, for me, the chord doesn't sound quite right. It sounds okay, but it's just not quite there yet. But if I would take the relative minor It's a little bit of a different flavor to it, but that just seems to work a little bit better. So when I first started learning to play by ear, I was really looking for a formula that would work every single time I sat down to learn a new song by ear. And it was difficult to come up with a formula. So really what I was looking for were I guess, consistencies. And this 6-chord foundation was something that occurred on a very consistent basis. Like I said, there's always going to be 3 major chords that occur naturally in any major key. Since most songs are written in major keys, I'm not starting from scratch. I have something to work from. Now, once I have those 3 major chords, I'm going to figure out the 3 relative minor chords. That gives us our 6-chord foundation. But also what I noticed, I was looking for consistencies. Well, I was looking for a formula. I didn't quite find the formula, but I did find something that occurred on a very consistent basis. The 3 minor chords, in this case D minor, G minor, and A minor, I also noticed that their parallel majors occurred quite a bit as well. So D major, G major, and A major would occur quite a bit if we were learning a song in the key of F. Now, not to say these chords are always going to appear in a song that occurs, that is in the key of F, but still it gives us a lot more to work with. Like I said, we're not working from scratch. And really what we have up to this point is just a starting point. Basically, so you don't have to go through what could easily be a very complicated process if you had to start from scratch. And trust me, starting from scratch is not fun. When I started learning to play by ear 30 years or so ago, and it took me a long time, I was starting from scratch. I didn't have this 6-chord foundation. So having these 6 chords to work with, and then realizing, those few extra chords, that was a good starting point. I wasn't starting from scratch. So when you go to figure out the melody, okay, once again we're still assuming we're in the key of F, but now we have 9 chords that are going to occur quite frequently throughout a song in the key of F. So now we're going to learn a little bit more of the melody. So I'm hearing a chord change here. Okay, and I'm looking for a chord that has a C sharp in it out of those 9 chords. Okay, like I said, I have a toolbox to work from instead of just trying to pull chords out of thin air. And out of those 9 chords, the A major has a C sharp in it. Okay, now I'm hearing the chord change here, but kind of like at the beginning of the song, you land on that D and you stay there for a little bit. So once again, my first logical choice for a chord would be some sort of a D chord. In this case, the naturally occurring minor would be the D minor. There's our 4 chord and our 5 chord. Back to the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, relative minor. There's that G major. That was one of those creative chords that occurred. So there's our 4 chord, and back to our 1 chord. Okay, so that's just a little bit of my process. I wish I could get into a little bit more detail, but hopefully this will help you decide if this course is right for you. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and thanks for watching.